Bloody hell, man. Right, so I come today bearing sad news. The Oracle has died. You're gonna have to go and take the third eye out of my forehead, fucking rip it out and fucking toss it in the bin, because the clean slate, it's over. Some of the games that I got wrong, I'm annoyed about, and some of the games that I got right, I'm kind of annoyed about how they went out, but regardless, we push on. It's all G. I'm gonna go over all the games that happened last week at the beginning, and then do me tips for the next week at the end, so that we can watch the narratives progress, whatever the fuck. So undoubtedly, the biggest story of the week, and probably it could be the biggest story of the fucking season, is the Richmond Tigers getting up and about over Carlton. Now, I didn't see this coming, but I can't say that I'm mad that it happened. In fact, I'm fucking over the moon that it happened. Watching this game was so fucking fun, because the first quarter had me sitting going like, fuck, all right, big blowout. What a way to fucking start the season, you know. Richmond doing what we all thought they'd do, fuck all, and then Carlton getting up, showing some dominance. They looked good in the first quarter. De Koning looked really good in the ruck at the beginning of the game. That definitely changed as the game went on, but in the beginning, he was showing, I think both of the Koning brothers really showed that they are great rucks. They just, that's all it is, mate. Wiedering was the best on ground throughout the entire game across both teams, definitely. He's almost the only thing that stopped that win from being so embarrassing for Carlton, from being more embarrassing for Carlton. He managed to keep a lot of the Richmond offense to a minimum at the beginning of the game, and that slipped as the game went on, as they adjusted to Wiedering being basically the only fucking important thing in Carlton's defense. And I wanted to shout out Zach Williams' sneaky little soccer goal in the first quarter as well. I love seeing the soccer goals, and there were so many of them this round. It was fucking awesome. And it was a pretty fucking cool one at that. It was really great to open the round, open the game as well. And then he did some other shit. He was running after the ball, trying to grab it, trying to scramble, and like b-ball past the ball. He bounced it onto the ground, and someone else came in and socked it as well. I don't remember who the fuck that was. Evans, but yeah, that was pretty much all the good things you got to say about Carlton. That's all the good things. Before I start talking about the good things about Richmond, I want to talk about fucking Nick Haynes. When the fuck did he go to Carlton? I didn't know that happened. There was probably a reason we didn't give him a game last year. Nick Haynes is like an alright player. I'm not saying he's dog shit, but in that game, he looked like a fish out of water in the Carlton structure. He was fucking up so many contests for Carlton players, running into each other, failing under pressure, handballs going fucking nowhere. He looked hopeless, like really. I was sitting on the fucking watching it, just like, Jesus Christ, man, I'm good. It's good we unloaded him, I guess, but I'm sure he'll come into his own, and like the team will pick themselves back up and they'll figure out some of the issues, but he did not look good. Cripps was quiet. Fucking Walsh was quiet. A lot of the people that Carlton sort of, as a team, they rely on them to get up and go and to lift everyone else up. None of them really got up and going. It was just a fucking very poor performance, and Richmond capitalized on that, and they capitalized on it well. They looked hungry. The fucking Richmond intensity was real. The pressure that they were able to apply going into the game, and just the momentum that they were able to pick up and capitalize on. Like, that's a big thing that young teams struggle with, and Hawks are the best example of a team doing this and like riding it out. It's like grabbing the momentum that you've got and not letting, like when Carlton fights back and pulls back the momentum, not letting that completely kill your run. Richmond did a really good job of that. They held hope to come back from 40 points as a team that no one thought was going to win a fucking game this year. It just shows heart, it shows grit, it shows a lot of determination as a young side. You know, it was resemblant of what Hawks were doing back at the start of last year, when no one thought they were going to be anything, and then they had their big run for flag, and they didn't get there in the end. And I'm not saying that Richmond's going to fucking make the finals. I don't see that happening still. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they pull out a Hawks year last year and fucking, but no, I don't see them going very far, but takes them off the bottom of the ladder prediction. That's what I'll say. I'm not going to fucking do another, I'm not going to do those often. I might make another one like halfway through the year or something maybe. Yeah, fucking unbelievable. Great performances from a lot of young players, a lot of first gamers getting not only like first game goal and stuff like that, but high possession counts, high disposal counts. Those disposals were actually useful. They were like meaningful plays being made. And it was a really gutsy win. It was fucking awesome. As much as you want to attribute that to Richmond and say, fuck, they're a chance for the flag, a lot of the blame does have to be put on Carlton for this loss. It was their game to lose, and they lost it pretty embarrassingly. They fell apart. They dropped their fucking heads. As soon as that doubt crept in that, oh shit, what if Richmond win? They sealed their own fate. They let Richmond win. Which win? They let them win. There's no reason why, on paper, Carlton should not be fucking pumping Richmond. Like, I'm sitting here in the predictor, oh, it's a blowout. It's a fucking blowout. And, you know, Richmond, you know, they gave up some pretty tough games for different opponents last year as well. But, yeah, just fucking abysmal for Carlton. Not a lot to look forward to. Bossy, what are you doing, cunt? Get back out to Orbos. You need to come learn your roots, mate. Play some tough footy. Go have a beer at the Bem, cunt. Kerno not being there was not the reason why they didn't do it. Like, Carlton had some outs. It's not the reason they performed poorly. It was just a bad performance. A really bad performance. Jumping to the Hawks and Bombers game, I want to start off by saying, holy fuck, Newcomb is so good. I rate him so fucking highly. Like, he's, in my opinion, other, like, Sicily, obviously, I think to a degree, Impey as well, Lukey Bruce up forward, they're all very pivotal roles in what allows Hawthorn to do what they're doing with their young players moving around. I think Jai Newcomb is the glue that allows all of that to happen. He's such a fucking intelligent player. His footy IQ is through the roof. His skills are pretty clean, and his guts, like his intensity is just, it's ferocious. It's never ending. He's a fucking goat. Teams need to learn to lock him down to try and minimize the impact that the Hawks are going to have on the game, because he killed the fucking Bombers. And it's sort of like a bit of the eye test thing, where it doesn't necessarily reflect in his disposals and efficiency and all of that. It's just the consistency that he brings to their midfield is fucking unreplaceable. You know, it's nice to have like fucking Weddle back and everything, and he had a great game as well, Weddle did, but the Hawks just look strong. There's nothing really that separates this week from last week, other than maybe like the energy felt a bit more up. It felt more, you know, they're at the G, they're at the home ground, fucking, they got to spread the ground the way they like doing it, so it showed a bit more now, maybe a bit more of their set plays. Like, everyone's going on about that one set play where Impey carves out into fucking open space, and it takes 2 kicks to get from a fucking fullback kick out to a goal. And you know, it's a masterclass from Sam Mitchell. Not only coach of last year, because I think it went to fucking Brizzy coach Fags, but everyone with a fucking brain knows that Sam Mitchell coached the fuck out of them last year. He deserves that, but I think he's genuinely the dawn of the new age of coaching. He is revolutionizing what football is going to be like, because watching Hawks, they look unstoppable. And it doesn't mean that, you know, the Bombers gave him a good fucking crack. It doesn't mean that the Hawks are going to be unbeaten. They will get beaten. But I think what Sam Mitchell's doing, and the ways that he's coming up with, and the way that he's getting his players to enact those plays, as well as just being able to situationally react to random shit going on, just absolutely incredible. In terms of good shit for the Bombers, I wanted to mention the fucking Isaac Kako kicking that fucking wicked, it was off the ground little soccer goal again in his debut game. But a big thing to note about it was like he knew he was going to get cleaned up by a bump like right as it, and he didn't hesitate or anything. So he looks really promising for the Bombers forward line. He looks like a dangerous fucking player. He's already getting in and around it. So yeah, he's definitely someone to watch for the Bombers. You know, they didn't look bad. I always go, the Essendon edge isn't real, and I don't think it is. I think they're a bit phony, a bit pretenderish, and there was holes in their game which the Hawks exploited. But you know, there was also strengths in their game which they'll be a thereabouts team. They'll float around the fucking middle, lower half of the ladder, and they'll put up some good fights for some good teams. That's definitely going to be the case. Like, they're not some game you can just walk into and think, oh, this will be a breeze, because it won't be. They will put up a challenge, and if you're not prepared to address the strengths that the Bombers have, they will run away with it. But I just think that Hawks had all the answers and more. So Nick Watson nearly fucking broke his neck and guts. God, that was funny. He's so small that when he flew back for the fucking missed specky, the impact was like a basketball bouncing on the ground. He's just a fucking, I don't know. If the umpires continually not pay the free kick every time he purposely drops his head, he's in my good books. That's the only problem I have with the cunt, is that he fucking does that stupid dog shit that ruins the integrity of our game. Yeah, when he's not doing it, fuck, he's an electric player to watch. I'm glad that he got up and about. So yeah, that's that game. Cats in the Dockers. I didn't actually watch this game. I was at work, so I was listening to it on the Triple M broadcast. Holy fuck, BT is the funniest person, not only in AFL, but maybe across all sport ever. He's sitting there like commentating the way that someone made him a cup of tea and it was too hot, and he's like, oh, the flesh is burning out of my mouth, chunks are falling out. He just has the perfect voice to fucking say shit and to stir shit. The entire game, he's fucking going on about how Ollie Dempsey's rich ass giving him shit. I used to come to school with caviar for lunch. He doesn't know what a Ford is. He knows Mercedes. He just thought Ford was the opposite of backwards. Fucking funny cunt. Very funny. There was fuck all people at the game apparently, and he's like, oh, there might be a boat show on. There's a fucking model plane convention in town, or a committee meeting or something that's taken away fans from the stands. I don't know. Just get BT broadcasting every game. Fucking clone the lad, and we'll have him just do commentary for every sport. Bump the camera so now I'm on a fucked up angle. Who's that there in the background? Who's that there? Who's that there? What if I just did it like this for the rest? Yeah, guys, so the next game that we're going to be talking that still looks a bit on the piss, but that's going to be the angle going forward. Yeah, so from what I could gather, and, the fucking scoreline, the Cats offense is still sleek, sneaky, and fucking strong. Daly Smith did nothing but add to the Cats. Apparently, he was seemingly, like, my missus watched the game, and she said that he seemed like a very selfish player at times, and that is kind of just how Bailey Smith plays. As long as they can keep that in check, then he'll be a fucking ripping player. He'll be a ripping addition to the Cats. They look strong. I'm very happy with how I've placed the Cats in your ladder predictor. I think they're the team to beat this year. Brizzy looks good. good, the Hawks look good, but the Catters, that's where it's at. That's the fucking challenge for everyone, I reckon. And Freo, holy fuck. Both Freo and Port are lucky that Richmond got up and about, because the narratives around their failure should be so much bigger. It was a very fucking disappointing performance from Freo. Sure, you got a few outs, you got a few injuries, doesn't fucking matter, bro. You should not be getting pumped like that. The scoreboard is one thing. Geelong out-tackled the fuck out of Freo. Their pressure, their intensity was just so much higher. Freo couldn't kick for shit, been a problem for a while. I don't know, it's just bad looks at the Dockers, and good looks at the Cats. That's really, like, there's not too much to say. The Cats looked fucking good, they looked strong, and Freo looked bad. They looked worse than we all thought. It's not looking good. Sarong was quiet. We have to acknowledge the amazing, again, first gamers had a fucking awesome round one. What's the little lad's name? Murphy Reed kicking 4 goals in like a 5-minute time span on his debut, at a time where those goals kind of kept Freo, like, the spirit, the hope alive. Just fucking, he'd be on top of the world. That's the biggest thing you can look to. He looks to be dangerous little forward. You can, he's not kicking 4 in 4 minutes every fucking game. That's never gonna happen again, probably. But it's a good look. There's some positive to take at least. Swans Lions, got this one wrong and it hurts. I really think I've just overestimated the Swans. I just think I assumed that they'd probably have a similar year to last year, where not on top of the ladder, I didn't see them being like that, but where they would assert a bit of dominance, where they'd show a bit of pressure, get a little bit flary. And I thought that Brisbane would maybe be missing the Danaher, the hole that he creates when he's gone, but nah, not at all. They fucking put it to the Swans, and the Swans didn't stand up necessarily. Maybe not as a whole team, like individual Swans played well and areas of their game worked, but also individuals didn't stand up when I feel like they needed them to. Papley had a pretty quiet game. Blakey, for as great as he was making some mistakes that I feel like maybe the other Swans would assume that he wouldn't make, and weren't getting themselves into position off of hoping that he'd just be the flawless lad that he usually is. And he didn't have a fucking bad game at all. I'm just saying that there's problems at the Swans. It's not to say that they're a bad team. I think they've had 2 really fucking tough games out of the gate, and it doesn't reflect, like, the two losses in a row and a potential fucking 0-3 by going up next week. It doesn't reflect where they'll finish at the end of the season. It doesn't reflect how strong they are. They will be a threat. They will be a presence in this year. It's just a fucking shitty start. And Brizzy started way hotter than I thought they would. Will Ashcroft's little brother is going to be fucking deadly, which sucks because I fucking hate Brisbane Lions so fucking much. I fucking despise this team. Kyle Lohmann is like one of the only things I like about it, because he's just a fucking dipshit. He's a flog. I love ya. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fucking pretty sneaky good little player. His celebrations are so bad. They're so bad. He'll jump and hug someone like a koala on a tree, or do the worst little finger guns of all time. It's just no swag with it at all. I like watching him play. I like watching Cam Rayner play. I like Archie. I don't like Ashcroft just because he fucking tore us up in the finals last year. It hurts my heart. But I fucking hate Brisbane. Sucks that they're doing great, but they look fucking great. And Lachie Neale had a fucking dog shit quiet game, and yet still they managed to do really well in the grand final rematch of last year. They look dangerous, which sucks. Definitely thereabouts. Definitely there in the conversation. They'll be probably easy top 4. I think. I don't know where I had them on the ladder thing. I should have memorized that or saved it or something. But that would require thought, which, yeah, this is another one that I got wrong, and this is the one that I'm so fucking angry about. Not because, like, North had to win, and the Dogs had so many injuries, so North had to win. The Dogs looked pretty good without their injuries. Let's give some credit to the Dogs where they deserve it. They looked pretty great without the injuries. Without the players that they didn't have due to injury or circumstances. Before I get onto the coaching, I'll run through the game a little bit, but Curtis stood the fuck up this game. I think Paul Curtis had a ripping game, and he's fairly hit or miss. I think that night he really showed himself. He asserted himself as a dominant threat in the forward line. Nick Larkey, again, had a fucking blinder kicking 5. He's one of the best forwards in the competition. He gets underused in a side that doesn't really have strong power forwards, and I don't really understand how that happens. You can't just keep bombing it to him and hope that he's gonna fucking mark everything. Maybe that's step 1. The Luke Archer thing is another fucking aspect. It was a fucking brutal clash, and I just hope that everyone's alright. I hope Archer's confidence is alright. I hope that it's Jackson Archer. The other cunt's name's Luke something. I don't know. Anyway, him getting 3 weeks, that's bullshit. That's just fucking bullshit. There's the argument, did he take his legs out? It should have been a free kick too, Archer. I don't know about any of that. If he says in the tribunal thing that he was initiating a tackle, you can't have your legs taken out, so that takes that away. But fucking 3 weeks for going at the ball, going at the footy as hard as you can. The 3 weeks were basically, you shouldn't run that quick. He's like, I slowed down 25% in the fucking time leading up to it, and they were like, you just shouldn't be running that quick, man. No duty of care. Fucking even Luke Beveridge, the coach of the Dogs, is saying he doesn't think it should be a fucking suspension at all. It's a sad fucking moment that someone got severely hurt Could have been way worse. Could have been 2 people hurt. 3 people were involved in that fucking area. It could have been a 3-person cleanup. You know, when we reward certain aspects of physicality in football and we disincentivize other aspects of physicality, and they tend to clash. Like, yeah, run fucking hard as you can into any contest. We reward that type of behavior. Unless you hurt someone, in which case 3 weeks. The bumps are all good unless someone ducks their head and gets hurt. You could bump the exact same fucking way, and if the other person chooses to go up or down, that's the depending variable on whether or not it's looked upon as great fucking tough footy or that was careless, that was callous. Even though you were doing the exact same thing. I don't fucking know. I think it's bullshit. Zerha fucking played a mid-game, I think. Very hit and miss. And you'd hope that he's getting it drilled into him that you need to be fucking better than that. But I don't trust Clarkson. I don't trust him at all. North looked the same old, as they always fucking have, with the introduction of 3 players that should, in theory, revolutionize the way that North operates on the ground, the way that they're able to carry out their game plans, whatever, and they look the fucking same. They look the exact same as last year when they had a mid-performance. It's got to come down to coaching. If we can sit here and fucking want to sack every other coach on the planet, Alistair Clarkson has this fucking aura of invincibility because what he did with the Hawks. They were such a young team and took them to such heights. But let's be real, the talent that was on the Hawks side that Clarkson fucking coached, Jesus, I could give it a good crack and take him to the flag maybe. Stacked lineup, star-studded lineup, and fuck, who knows, like his coaching style might have just worked for that team, but it's not working for North. It's clearly not fucking working for North. His refusal to take any accountability and his complacency with, we're a young team, we're a developing team, we showed a lot of improvement. How much fucking improvement can you show until you win a game? Every other team seems to be improving at a faster rate than you, so that improvement doesn't really fucking mean anything. Compare his press conference at the end of the game to our coach's press conference, Adam Kingsley, in games that we lose. We take so much responsibility. He takes so much responsibility. Clarkson is out here fucking trying to blame everyone else. You know, it's rusty, it's really hot, these are young kids, we got some experience in, but we still need to develop. How about you just say that I'm a fucking dog shit coach and I don't know what I'm doing with this group? You can have a bit of confusion. You can have a bit of fucking anger at the players. Where is the fucking anger? Where is the passion? There's no passion in North. There's no fucking passion. Curtis stands up and takes rip and fucking mark after rip and mark, kicks some amazing goals. No one's getting around him. Larky's just kicked 5. No one's getting around him. Quick little celebration. Yeah! Alright, back into the fucking thing, boys. Richmond were able to win on energy and momentum. Hawks are able to win on energy and momentum. Young teams that push past this fucking skill gap, because Richmond has a skill gap. That game was sloppy as fuck from both teams, yes, but Richmond was sloppy as fuck. They still got it done through brute force. North got no force. They got no fucking drive. And you'd think that bringing in these experienced players would help that drive, but it's fucking done nothing apparently. And yes, it's the first week. I'm getting very fucking jumping the gun a little bit, maybe. Who knows? Fuck me though. Just poor looks. And it's a shame. It's a real shame for the North fans, for the North club, for the North players that their talent's better than this. Sheasel, LDU, Larky, fucking Georgie Wardlaw, all of these young players, I just keep thinking their careers would be so much more fulfilling if they're at a different team. If they just jumped ship, they would be having better careers. They would be developing at a better rate, because I don't think that their instruction is quality. I don't think it's up to par. They're clearly not being worked with on an individual level, or if they are, then that's not extending to the team level and everyone's fucking confused about what's meant to be happening, because nothing's happening. It looks dog shit. The Dogs looked good without their injuries. That's all I've got to say. Pies vs Port, didn't watch. Go to Pies. I was watching the fucking North game. Saw the scoreline. I was like, well, rip fucking Kenny. I like Kenny. I like him. I think he's funny and old and weird. He's a cute old man with a little funny head. But yeah, he's getting the fuck out of there, bro. I don't know. Problems at Port. That's, I guess, it. Pies, from people that I talked to that did watch the game, they said the Pies looked good, but it was mainly the failings of Port that allowed for such a big margin. But again, the Pies are looking pretty dangerous. I know our scoreline was decently big against them, but that's not to say that they didn't play decent against us. And if they're pulling out a performance like this, they'll be in the conversation this year. I think that it's already a massive step up from last year in terms of the quality that they're putting out. Adelaide versus the Saints. Yeah, Saints look shit, didn't they? Peatling fucking up a goal kick and then setting up one for Isaac Cumming. That just hurt me. That just hurts to watch. Oh boys, come back to me, come back. Rochelle looks good coming back as well. That's something good. Rankin looks tough. Crows had it on lock, man. I fell asleep during this game. Not gonna lie to you. Pretty hungover. Started out, I was like, this is blowing out. There was a passage of play in the first quarter. It was like, I think it was the 4th goal that Adelaide kicked, from memory. Could be wrong. Saints hadn't hit the scoreboard really meaningfully yet, and their defenders were just fucking lost. It was a such a fumbly bit of play from Adelaide that turned into such an easy goal to stop from the Saints bar. It was all locked into the back line. It's just fucking, I don't know. Saints looked bad. Waking up 3/4 time, sort of fucking half days and go, what's going on here? Well, nothing interesting, back to sleep. The Crows look good. The Crows look tough. They might, deliver on some promises this year. Fingers crossed. Who knows? Gotta love that for your percentage, I guess. Now, of course, the most important game of the round, just obviously, for narratives, for everything, for culture, for the footy culture in general. Giants vs Melbourne. Holy fuck, how did we do that? How did we do that? Lockie Keefe, you fucking beauty. Keefey the cockroach, you can't kill him. Delist him hundreds of fucking times. They just make him stronger. Kick him off the team just to bring him back. He's a club man. He'll never fucking take that as an insult. Cops it on the chin. Yeah, that's alright. I'll kick the winning goal in the wet, with my opponent being Max Gawn, the best ruck in the world. Probably the best ruck that has ever fucking lived, Max Gawn. And Keefey didn't really bring him too much pressure in the actual ruck battle, but I think we managed to fucking have more centre clearances. How does that happen? We looked good. Let's go Cornelio. He got up and about this game. Toby Green hit the scoreboard in a meaningful way and really imposed himself again physically. It was fucking great to watch. My goat. Ben Callahan, again, is looking to be a very dangerous player for us this year. Darcy Jones, just doing what he does. O'Halloran's really coming into his own as well. That's really nice to sort of watch. Bedford had his task out for him with Petrarca. Petrarca played a fucking great game. And he's just so much bigger than Bedford. The tagger role is pretty hard on him. He'll struggle with players of that size and that sort of physical caliber, but he still did decent at minimising the impact that Petrarca could have had, because fuck, he looked electric. He looked on fire. And the boys at Melbourne, they were getting around Petrarca. It seems like whether it's fake and they're faking it till they make it, or it's real, the love is back. You know, there's a bit of passion there, there's a bit of drive, and there's something to look out for at Melbourne. They had a fucking good game. I thought we were going to go out there and blow their socks off, and we didn't. They gave us a good fight up until the last minute. We should have probably lost that game. To be honest, we just managed to find a way to do it at the end, you know? It's all G. We get it done. That's just how it has to be. I mean, we probably should have won by more. That Bowie's kicked a goal and then he's going, nah, look, someone touched it. Other Essendon players, not Essendon, fucking Melbourne players, nah, look, he touched it, we'll call it back. Everyone's like, oh, I guess it was touched. Nah, look, we'll count it as a goal. We've already done it. We're already back in the centre. I can't be fuck going back down front. That was bullshit. Should have won by 2. Well, should have won by 3 plus 6, that's 9. Maths. Yeah, but fuck me, pulled that out of our arse, didn't we? Scrappy little win, gutsy win. It's always been an ability of ours to win really close games. I think we win the most close games out of any team in the AFL. We have so many fucking close games, it's not good for my heart rate. Yeah, we managed to get it done in an ugly way. It was an ugly game, it was scrappy. I mean, it was wet, so it was fucking intense. It was a great game to watch. The whole time I was on the edge of my seat thinking, we can really bring it back, we can really bring it back. Close, and we did it, you know? Melbourne looked dangerous. Petrarca's back and he's got something to say. That's, I don't know. Clayton Oliver's shit his pants as always, you know, he's running around. He had a decent game, but that's probably because he just, you know, we're not used to the smell of Clayton Oliver, so when you go to tackle him, it's a little bit like hesitatory, because you do worry about what you're going to contract by touching the fucking freak. He also looks like he's balding more than, sorry, I need to fucking, sorry Clayton Oliver. I'm sorry, man. I'm sure you're a good bloke, but you look like you shit your pants, so. You can't smelly. Also, the one game at the G, the whole year thing, that is a factor to mention. I think it's all G. I think we travel away, we play away really great as a team in general. It's always been something like a strength we've had. We don't need the home ground advantage necessarily, but having one game at the G the entire year, if we are to make finals, it's, you know, say we're playing Hawthorn, who play there as a home game, and half the fucking Victorian teams have the G as a home ground, so they've got so much more experience playing there. It is a little bit of a fucking weird disadvantage thing, I guess, for us. I'm not saying it's the end of the world. I'm not going to really use it as an excuse, because like I said, I don't think we play away that bad at all, but it's something to consider. Like, it's just weird that they've fucking scheduled it like that. I think it's a failing of the AFL. Like, the fixture this year looks really good, but fuck me, the grounds that people are playing at, I just think that's a bit poor. I don't know. How did it happen? That's sort of the question, but whatever. And then fucking West Coast, Gold Coast. I half didn't watch because I was cooking dinner. The game was over at fucking quarter time. Well, maybe not. A little bit after quarter time. Yeah, good on the Suns. They looked pretty dangerous. It's a really good, imposing win for them to have, like coming out, making a fucking difference, making it strong, making it now, making a statement, sorry, not a difference. West Coast, they had moments that looked alright, and by moments, I mean like 3-minute bursts inside of a quarter, which isn't going to win you a game. It's a shame. I don't know. Maybe them and the Saints might hang around the bottom of the ladder. Fuck, maybe North will if Clarkson can't get his shit together. I don't know, but yeah, like they looked a little bit worse than I thought they would. I thought maybe some of the pieces that they had coming in would help more, and I thought that, you know, Harley Reid might be able to fucking tank up and develop, but he seems a bit done with, not done with footy, he's 19, but checked out maybe. Maybe he's checked out. I hope he's not. I hope he's dedicated to the club. club, but get him to somewhere. I think you can, it reads as if he wants to go somewhere that will let him play bigger games, will let him be a bigger star than he will be over there. Because yes, everyone on the fucking west coast of the country is going to say Harley Reid's the GOAT. Harley Reid's one of the GOAT. It's not a fucking doubt. What he did to Petrarca last year, just physical, tough, old school footy player. But, you know, that does get lost within the team. It's a similar problem to at North, where if the team's fucking doing such dog shit, what's the quality of these stars when you're in that environment, if that makes sense? It's an interesting thing to think about. It's a shame for West Coast fans. It was a pretty abysmal loss, and then, you know, it's the biggest margin Gold Coast has ever won by. So that's something. Maxi King looked pretty good, or Ben King, not Max King. Fuck, Ben King looked pretty good. I see a lot of people having his shout for the Coleman. That's a fair enough guess, as long as he doesn't get the yips again. You gotta remember, he was doing really well in the Coleman last year, and then just couldn't fucking kick straight to save his life. I don't know what happened to him. I think it's all a mental thing. He's got the skills, he's got the marking ability, the kicking ability. It's nothing physical. It's all in his head, I think. So yeah, but they looked pretty strong. It'll be great to see Mac Andrew come back, make a difference. You know, they look good. They'll be a threat probably. Onto this round. Let's do our predictions. Carlton Hawks at the G. Gonna have to take the Hawks. I think the Hawks, I don't know if they pump them. They probably will fucking pump them. Could be, you know, a 10-goal game. Who knows? But yeah, look, I don't think Carlton are going to come out and play as bad as they did in the latter half of that game against Richmond. I think that they're going to come back with something to prove, I guess. They fucking better. Otherwise, you know, they're in real dire straits. But I think that Hawks just look too dominant. I think that Hawks beat fucking Carlton when Carlton was almost at their best last year, and Hawks weren't at their best yet, sort of area. I think just in general, game style wise, the Hawks have a really favourable matchup to the playing style of Carlton, regardless of how well the team's performing. And since Carlton at the moment is underperforming, I think the Hawks take this one away. I've got them officially by fucking 20 odd points, but fuck, that could blow the fuck out. That could be another fucking 70-point game. So up the Hawks. Then on Friday night we got the fucking Pies and the Dogs at the G as well. I think the Pies get this done. Looked really strong the week before, but that's not why I'm picking the Pies. I don't think that game is representative of their quality necessarily. How much they fucked up Port by it's a big margin, and it's a good confidence builder. But the Dogs, you know, they'll have that in mind. They will have that. It's a confidence thing. We just have to attack at their confidence. The Dogs are good at doing that as a team. So I do think that the Pies win it. I don't know how much by. This could go either way. This is a fucking, like, on the odds they got it 240 to $1.60 almost, but that's not reflective. I think this is going to be a pretty tight game. It could realistically go either way. Oh fuck. Up on Saturday we've got Essendon and the Crows at the G. I've taken the Crows again. The problem with big blowout games like the Crows had against the Saints is it's not an indicator of how well they're going to do against a tough team. I think that Essendon, as much as I fucking dislike them, show that they're a pretty tough team. They gave it pretty decently to the Hawks, you know, so this will be a ripping fucking match. I think this will it maybe be game of the round. I think, yeah, it's looking like it. I think this will be a fucking classic. Yeah, I'm taking Adelaide. I don't know how much by. I think it'll be a really good game. It could go either way, but go the Crows. Port and Richmond at Adelaide Oval. I've taken Port. As good as Richmond was last week, well, as good as they looked, as good as their energy was. Port has to respond. Port doesn't respond at home. That's just fucked. I can't see them not responding. That's sort of the only reason. I want to give them the benefit. I want them to ride that high, and they might. If they turn around and win this game as well, that'll do things for their confidence that'll take them far into this year. Not into the 8 maybe, but take them far. And I think Port, similarly, if they lose this game, will do things to their confidence that will take them far away from the 8. Very far away from the 8. Port have to win. Port are going to win. That's just the way I see it. Like, who knows? The sneaky Tigers might make a comeback. Cats and the Saints at Marvel. The Cats are going to fucking pump them. Like I said, Cats are one of the only teams in that super dominant performance, like out of the 3 last week, that I think it actually might reflect, not to that degree, but it will reflect their dominance and their aggression. They're going to fucking kill the Saints. Lions and Eagles at the Gabba. The Lions are going to win this. Eagles can't lose at home by that margin to Gold Coast and then go to Brisbane's home ground and lose to Brisbane. It's just not going to fucking happen. Again, I fucking hate Brisbane. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope the Eagles come out and pump them. That would, oh god, at the thought of that, it gave me a euphoria rush. That would be wicked. But it's not going to fucking happen. It's not. So, I don't know. Yeah, Lions take that one. Then we've got North Melbourne and Melbourne at Marvel. I want to tip yous. I want to tip the Roos. I want to be like Clarkson and say they showed a lot of improvement in that game and there's things they've got to work on, but I think they can. Nah, fucking Melbourne look good against us. They look really good against us. And losing so close to us, they're going to come out needing to fucking prove that they are a threat, that they are going to be a presence this year. I didn't see anything from the Roos that indicated that they will be able to stop that at this moment in time, which sucks to fucking say. Again, I don't really like Melbourne. I really like North. It's probably not going to happen. I'm just going to have to be realistic here. I think Melbourne makes a bit of a statement game here. You know, I can see, it doesn't really matter how well North do. I think Melbourne are going to play this with their heart on their sleeve, and they're going to play it as tough as they possibly can. So I see them winning. And then the last game of the round, we've got Sydney up at Optus Stadium versus Freo. I've just said Port are going to win because they have to respond, so they have to win. Freo have to win and have to respond just the exact same way. And Freo are a fucking better team than Port on paper. But I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking blinded from last year, but I just see the Swans winning this one. And Swans have to win this too. Like I said, they're on the potential for starting the year at 0-3. That's fucking crazy for someone that played in the grand final last year. And yes, their grand final performance was really fucking woeful. But during the year, they were the strongest team by a landslide, like by a very big margin. So I feel like Sydney have to get this done. They've had enough time to sort of figure out, all right, what we're doing is not working. Let's not hit the drawing board, but take a step back and analyze where we really need to fucking improve. And I think that they'll have the answers. I see Sydney winning this. I might be crazy. That one I'm really not confident on. Seems like everyone else is just saying the opposite about Freo. Like Freo have to improve. They know the answers. They're going to do it. That Freo's home. That does make a difference. Freo do play a lot better at home. And it'll be a fucking big loss for Freo if they do lose as well. That's another thing. There's a lot riding on this for a lot of teams. A lot of these games throughout this round, there's a lot riding on it already. We're in round 2 and there's so much going on. Oh, I love it. But yeah, fucking, I don't know. I got the Swans. I just do. That's where I'm at. So that's the weekly fucking football little video. Alistair Clarkson, you're a fuckhead. Clayton Oliver, you got shitty undies. Who else can I make enemies with? Oh, the MRO for fucking over Jackson Archer. Fuck the MRO. Shout out Lockie Keefe, the cockroach can't kill him. I don't know. That's the end. Yeah.